Hey, welcome to Weekly Rides with Ruben. Weekly Rides with Ruben are uploaded every Wednesday, and they're a random collection of motorcycle adventures, life on two wheels, and bike reviews. Today I'm riding with my son on a Harley Davidson Ultra Classic Electric Glide. And we are actually doing something in the motorcycle adventure category, despite the fact that we're riding a Harley. You can have an adventure on any kind of bike, I promise. No trucks. I don't know if it's called one. No, one to retouch. Okay, so let's see, where do we begin? Basically, my son needs to get to Ohio this weekend so that he can get to Florida, which doesn't sound like it makes a whole lot of sense. But I've got family up there. My sister-in-law lives in Marysville, Ohio, which is near Columbus, if you're familiar. And my in-laws are visiting them, so he is going to go up, hang out with them for Easter. It's Easter weekend, and then we're going to he's gonna fly back, and then I'll ride back solo to Charlotte, North Carolina. So it's Easter weekend. Right now it's probably in the mid 70s. We're up in Lenore, so just kind of getting to the foothills of the mountains. Absolutely beautiful weather so far, but it's extremely windy, and there is a cold front coming. So according to the weather, we're trying to make it to Norton, Virginia, which is in the middle of the mountains. Should be really beautiful, but according to the weather, it is going to start raining in Norton at about 8 o'clock, and we're supposed to get there around 8:30. But you know, it's one of those things, it's like 40% chance at 8, 60% chance at 9, 80% chance at 10. So I'm hoping that we will arrive dry. And one of the challenges is we're dressed for nice warm weather riding right now, and tomorrow when we wake up, it is going to probably be in the mid-30s, upper 30s, and then it's never going to get above probably about 45 degrees for us tomorrow. And we'll have to we'll do about 300 miles in 40 degree weather. So expect that to be chilly, but one of the lovely things about a Ultra Classic is you've got all the bags. That's why it's called a bagger. So I've got top case and saddlebags full of all kinds of goodies. We've got heated jacket liner, full sleeve liner, and heated gloves, which I will give to my son to wear, and a rain suit, and of course our regular thermal liners for our jackets, and some non-mesh gloves. I'm wearing some mesh gloves right now because it's not cold, but I've got some good insulated gloves in there as well. So I'm using my old Garmin GPS, which I have mounted to a suction cup on the plexi windshield, which makes it vibrate around. Of course, we're on a Harley big twin, so it's shaking around pretty good. Just got the bike, so I haven't had a chance to mount a better solution for the ram mount, and I've got a little safety wire there in case it falls off, because it might shake itself loose eventually. We've ridden close to 2 hours, yeah, a little over 2 hours now already, and so far so good. Hasn't fallen off yet. So it does make it a little challenging to read that tiny screen when it's shaking around though. And the routing's been really annoying. You know, I plugged in all the routes last night. I was up late, and then I realized that I had actually pulled the SD card out of the GPS, which means there weren't any maps. So it wants us to go to the right. So then I had to transfer the maps, find an SD card, transfer the maps to the thing, which took like an hour. So we got a later start than we wanted, and I knew we were up against a weather window. And we'll just kind of see how it goes. I'm not sure that it knows where we are. Story of the day. Oh, wait. I think we're good. Okay. 3.3 more miles. Alright, well, I've blabbered on long enough. Welcome along for another weekly ride. We will bring you back up when the riding gets a little more interesting, which it should. This is the town of Granite Falls. Interesting little tiny town. Main Street, right in front of the railroad tracks. Town square clock. Never lived in a super tiny town like this. I think it would be pretty interesting, to say the least. Hey, if we had time, I'd stop in at Jeff's Shave Ice Blasters. It's certainly warm enough for some ice cream. I say that today, definitely not tomorrow. Passing a sawmill, and the smell of sawdust is in the air. And look out in the distance, you can start to see some of the mountains up there, which we will be getting into. And some clouds. Doesn't look like it's raining yet, but we're definitely going to go through some weather at some point on this trip. Oh, we finally got some open road ahead of us, and we're getting up to the mountains. Temperature is dropping, but sky's still clear, so happy about that. This is Highway 321 heading up towards Blowing Rock. You can see there's some brine on the road still from trying to keep it de-iced, so that's usually not the greatest sign. Hopefully it's not going to get too cold tonight. I believe we'll be coming kind of over a high point around here, and then as we head into Virginia we'll be dropping back down in elevation, but right now we're climbing. And we're getting into the town of Blowing Rock. Been through here many times. I've actually never been to the Blowing Rock. Apparently there's a ledge out there to the left where you can stand on the edge. Get blown away. It's a great little town to come visit, though, if you ever come through the mountains of North Carolina. A little touristy, of course, but they've actually got some good restaurants, great places to stay, and pretty relaxed place. That's the Canyon Restaurant. Canyons. Great view out the back deck of that place. Shops along check out the way the sun is hitting that house up on the hill there. It's pretty cool. And we're gonna turn left on 321 towards Elizabethton. I don't want to jinx it, but it looks like it's clearing up almost. Got some sunshine. It warmed back up. It was getting a little chilly up in Blowing Rock. Of course, it's a little higher, and we've come down, dropped back down to the other side, so. So far, so good. Look at that old bridge. Cool. And we're finally free of the traffic that was Blowing Rock. Man, that was a bumper-to-bumper mess for a while there. I mean, some cool sights to look at. A lot of college crowd out enjoying the beautiful afternoon. It's a Thursday. But we're finally on an open road again with 55 mile an hour speed limit, which feels pretty good. We've got a little stream that we're following off to our left. Kind of comes in and out of view. Of course, we're also riding straight into the sun, so hopefully you can see through the bugs on my windscreen okay. Still very windy. It's interesting because it's very windy, but through the mountains, you know, you get these like pockets of wind where it's kind of funneled along the side of the mountain, and you'll be riding along and all of a sudden just get hit with a blast because you came around a corner, which, you know, on a big heavy bike like this, it's not too bad. Wind doesn't push you around nearly as much as it does on a little, like a Ninja 250 sport bike with full fairings. But, you know, this big fairing up front is connected to the forks and the handlebars, so it does kind of, it can kind of have some sway. But we're nice and loaded down. I've got my son on the back, and the saddlebags are full, top case is full, and we even have a duffel bag bungeed to the rack on the back. So we are fully loaded. And we're going to be on this road for another 20 miles, which is nice. I can stop looking at the GPS and figuring out what road I'm waiting to look for next. Look at that valley, rolling green hills, how gorgeous. Beautiful area up here. And you know what? Experiencing it from a saddle of a motorcycle, probably one of the best ways, if not the best way, to experience this kind of view. Sunlight reflecting off the water down there. Awesome. Love the way this motor sounds at like 3,500 RPM. Kind of its sweet spot. Hey, Tennessee! Welcome to Tennessee. Alright, officially made it out of the state. this bike on the brakes. You know what? Changing directions, I mean, obviously you can't call it applicable, but with the big bars that are on it and the low center of gravity, it's surprisingly agile once you're moving. Oh man, I love it out here. Unfamiliar road, unfamiliar bike, and my son on the back, so still fun though. Torque out of the corners is fun. Onward we go. It's the never-ending left turn. Round and round and round and round. We're going to circle the whole mountain. Gully to ride through almost. Deep downhill corners. What a beautiful spot. This bike almost demands that you smooth things out a little more in your riding. Be a little more progressive, especially in your braking. I think the extra weight, there's just more momentum, more mass to manage, so it takes longer for things to happen in terms of suspension settling and tires kind of settling into their groove. Of course, they're cruiser tires, so they're made to last long distance, not necessarily provide the ultimate in grip. But check out this scenery. Look at those guys fishing right there, and the light hitting the trees. Oh my goodness, I wish I would love to stop for a picture there, but there's nowhere to stop. Oh, the water's almost green. That is just fantastically gorgeous. This is my first ride back in the mountains in over 3 years. And I gotta say, I forgot how invigorating and amazing it can be to ride up in these mountains. I'm so fortunate to just be a couple hours away from areas like this. So nice. Well, we're probably about 8 miles outside of Elizabethton, Tennessee now. Probably can't see through the trees, but off to our right there's this gorgeous lake. In fact, I might pull over real quick and get a picture. Stretch our legs for a minute. So you might want to stretch your legs.
Why?
Because you're tired?
What?
Are you tired?
Very tired.
Yeah? That's why I said I thought you might want to stretch your legs. I put these in my jacket.
Oh, you never had them on?
No, I had them on and then it started getting dark, so I put them in my jacket. Don't think there's room in there for them. Alright, so we had a nice little break at the overlook. Looking over some lake. I didn't even read the sign. Pretty awful. And a nice lady there said her street glide's been in the garage all winter and she hasn't pulled it out yet. So I asked her what she was waiting for, because it is beautiful right now. There's the lake. And she also gave us some advice on where to go. We're shooting for Norton. We still have 91 miles to go. And depending on the weather, which right now it's gorgeous. I mean, if it would stay like this all day tomorrow, it would be heaven. But we're definitely getting some sort of cold front tonight. So the last time I checked, there was definitely rain in the forecast, starting at 8 or 9, and then lasting until about 10 a.m. in the morning or so, but a lot colder. So right now it's probably in the mid-60s, and it's supposed to get down to the mid-30s and then not really get above 45 tomorrow, and we're heading north, you know, trying to get to Ohio. Watauga Point. Wow, look at this scenery. So it's good to stretch our legs. And we're trying to shoot for Norton tonight, and the lady that we met at the overlook said that there's not a whole lot there. We know that for sure there's some hotels, but she said it's a pretty small town, so she said our options may be limited. Sure is pretty out here. So we're gonna probably split this video into two parts and do the day 1, day 2 kind of deal. They are going to be two very different experiences, I can tell you that. Lakeshore Marina. There we go. Quite a few sailboats in there. My kind of people. Love sailing. So 89 more miles to go. It is 7:19. At the overlook, Google was saying it was an hour and 48 more minutes, which would put us there around 9 o'clock. potentially in the rain. So we're gonna play it by ear. We'll see if we press on. If we get lucky with the weather, I was telling Elijah, my son, that he's getting tired, but I was like, dude, we want to go as far as possible today, because tomorrow you're gonna wish you were that much closer to where we're trying to get to in Ohio. And then he's hopping on an airplane to fly south to Florida on Monday with his grandparents, and I get to ride by myself all the way back to North Carolina on Sunday. Instead of doing it in 2 days, I'm gonna just do a straight shot back down, and it's gonna be cold. I wish it was gonna be like this. This is nice. Very, very nice. Good song. Well, we decided to stop here for the night. It's looking dark and gray and the sun is gone, and we decided we're tired enough to stop and get something to eat and pass out. And tomorrow we may have to ride an extra 60 miles through the rain, but at least we'll have put on our rain gear and all our liners and everything, and we won't be caught off guard and getting soaked. So, did you have a good ride?
Yeah.
Nice.